Hi guys, I hope you are all doing well. Let's see today's question. So today's question we are taking this up from the topic of straight lines. And if I talk about the question that is given to us here from this topic, the question tells us that a ray of light coming from the point P 1 comma 2, that ray of light gets reflected from the point Q, which is on the x-axis. So this point P gets reflected from the point Q, which is on x-axis, and then it passes through the point 4 comma 3, which is your point R. So it passes through the point R, which is 4 comma 3 then. And the question says that if the point S, which is H comma K, is such that the PQRS becomes a parallelogram, then the question is asking me to figure out the value of HK square. So that's the question asked to me here. And if I talk about the answer choices that we have been given here, the options are 60, 70, 80, 90. So we need to figure out which one of the answer choices is the correct answer for this question that is given to us here. Let's try to solve this question further and let's see which of them is the correct answer choice here. So first thing, if I do here, I can just substitute here, or instead of substituting, I can just find the reflection of this point P from the point Q, and they have told us this point Q is on the x-axis. So if the point is on Q is on x-axis, basically I'm finding the reflection of this point P using my x-axis. So x-axis is the mirror point here, and if it's the mirror point, my point P will be reflected somewhere here. So it will become P dash. And when it's reflected here, the x coordinate is still going to be same, and your y coordinate, the distance of 2 units should be still maintained, but the y coordinate from positive will become negative because it is below the x-axis. So this is your x-axis. The point Q is on the x-axis, so its y coordinate becomes 0. A coordinate, x coordinate is basically A. Now I have this with me. Once I have this with me, I know this point Q also passes through point R, which is 4 comma 3. So this point Q basically lies on this line P dash R, where P dash is the point of reflection from point P and R is this point 4 comma 3. So if I find the equation of line P dash R first. So P dash R, where P is given to us 1 comma negative 2 and R is given to us 4 comma 3. So if I use that idea to find the equation of this line P dash R, before finding the equation of line, I'll first find the slope of this line. So slope of this line would be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, which basically gives me, let's say I take this as x1 y1 and this is x2 y2. So 3 minus 2 divided by x2 minus x1, which is 4 minus 1. So you get 5 over 3. Now, once I have that 5 over 3, I want to basically figure out the equation of this line. So equation of the line is given by y equals mx plus c. I have the slope with me already, but I do not have the y-intercept. So to find the y-intercept, what I can do is I can use the idea that both of these points P dash and R lie on that same line for which we are finding the equation. So any one of the point, if I substitute, that will basically satisfy this equation of line. So I can put any one of the coordinates here. So let's put any one of them. So let's say I put this coordinate of R. So I get from here 3 because y coordinate is 3 and x coordinate is 4. So I get 5 over 3 times 4 plus c. So if I figure out the y-intercept for this question, I get 3 is 20 over 3 plus c. So c becomes 3 minus 20 over 3, which is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 20 minus 11 over 3. Now, how do I get minus 11? I just made this denominator also 3. So I get 9 minus 20 minus 11 over 3. So I get the equation of line, and that basically matches with y equals 5 over 3x minus 11 over 3. Now, once I have this with me, the question tells me that once you find the equation of line, this point Q also lies on that same line and it is on the x-axis. So y coordinate for that becomes 0. So I'll put my y coordinate here as 0 for this point, and x coordinate is a, I have taken, so I'll put it a. I get 5 over 3, a is equals to 11 over 3. 3 cancels, I get 5, a is 11. That gives me a is 11 over 5. So I get from this question that a is 11 over 5, and that gives me the coordinate q 11 over 5. So my coordinates of q becomes 11 over 5 comma 0. Now the question tells me that s is such a point that it becomes a parallelogram when I see pqrs. So when pqrs is a parallelogram, I know for a parallelogram that the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So basically the midpoint coordinates, if I see using these 2 points, and this 2 points, it should be the same midpoint. So basically I can find midpoint of this parallelogram using point q and s first. So if I find the midpoint of q and s, so midpoint coordinates for q and s, if I find out, I can use the idea sum of x coordinates divided by 2 and sum of y coordinates divided by 2. That gives me the midpoint coordinates. So for q and s, if I see, it is a plus h over 2 and 0 plus k over 2. And same thing if I find the midpoint of pr, it is again the same x coordinates sum, so p and r. So 1 plus 4 over 2 and 2 plus 3 over 2. Now from here I get this is 5 over 2, this is 5 over 2, and this is a plus h over 2, and this is k over 2. Now I know this two midpoints which I found for QS and PR, it actually resembles the same coordinate of midpoint because diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So this diagonals when bisect, they meet at the same point M, let's say. So I will equate the x coordinates because it's the same midpoint coordinate for both of them, and I'll equate the y coordinates. So let's equate the x coordinate individually. A plus h over 2 is 5 over 2, and I can write also 0 plus k, which is k over 2 equals also 5 over. So from here I can directly get k is 5, and if I solve for this 2 and 2 cancels as it cancels here also. So I get a plus h is 5. So from there, if I want h, I can just 5 minus a. I can do 5 minus 11 over 5. To have the denominator same, I'll multiply both sides with 5. So 25 minus 11, 14 over 5. So I have h, I have k. Now if I want to figure out the answer for the question, hk square, I can just do 14 over 5 times 5 squared. 14 over 5 times 25. 5 ones and 5 times. That gives me 14 times 5, which is 70. So I get the answer to this question, and that basically matches with answer choice B. So B becomes the correct answer to the question that is given to us here. I hope you have understood how to solve this type of questions. So what we did was first we figured out the point of reflection of this point P. Once I got that, I found the equation of line for this P dash R, and Q also lies on that line P dash R. So from there, I got the coordinates of Q 11 over 5 comma 0. Then I found the midpoints of the two pairs, so QS and PR, because it resembles the same midpoint because it's a parallelogram. And then I equated the individual x and y coordinates for those two midpoint formulas that I figured out. I got h and k. Once I got h and k, I just put it in the value for this expression that we need to find out, and that matches with answer choice B. So B becomes the correct answer for this question that is given to us here. I hope you have understood how to solve this type of questions. I'll see you again tomorrow with some other question from some other topic. And we are going to continue our series of questions on JEE mains. So stay tuned for more videos to roll out. Also, if you're enjoying these videos that we are doing on everyday basis, please do like the videos as well. And do subscribe to my channel and share this channel with your friends also who are involved in the preparation of questions on JEE. So they can also take the benefit from these questions that we are solving. Thank you.